In the black of night, bright white light up ahead, screaming sirens that I dread. No one but me to be a witness to this tragedy. Brother man with open eyes, a single tear that he cries, smiles at me and stands up tall in the black of night. I heard him shouting murder.
Gran Turismo, one of the granddaddies of racing games. It's a huge franchise in racing, especially for Sony. So many fucking games! With the release of GT Sport back in October, fans were a little disappointed by the lack of cars, tracks, and a true single-player campaign. But with this new update, 1.10, GT Sport's making steps in the right direction, and it gives me a good time to just review the game too. Despite some of the shortcomings it has, this is still the most fun I've had with a racing game this year. Let's start with the story. You're a guy with a helmet. You race cars. The end. This game doesn't really have a story per se, but it does have a little campaign mode now due to update 110. It's not as beefy as the previous titles, but still a lot of fun. The AI is surprisingly pretty good too. You also still have your driving tests, your missions, which are specialized little racing modes that cover a wide spectrum of racing, anywhere from hitting cones to doing 1-hour endurance races. You also have your circuits, which are basically just going around parts of the track, with this final section being your final test, with all of it being timed. Get all gold in a race. Win a car! You also still have your more basic single-player options, single race, time trials, drift trials, custom races. Campaign isn't anything special, but it gets the job done. The whole GT League is a great addition too. Let's move on to the gameplay. The gameplay here is the real meat and potatoes of the game. GT Sport's focus with competitive online racing really paid off, I think. Having these official daily races and new league races are awesome. You have 2 ranks. One is your driver rating. This is all dependent on how well you place in the races and how many places you raise up during a single race. And you also have your sportsmanship rating. This rating only specializes on whether or not you're a fucking jackass or not. So if you crash into a bunch of dudes, you just race dirty in general, your sportsmanship rating will plummet. It's a great way of herding out players in the categories and making sure each race is compatible and competitive. The penalty system they have here works for the most part, but it's not perfect. I mean, check this out. This guy's driving like a granny. I'm trying to pass him. He's braking way too early. I bump him up. I bump him. Give him a little kiss. Sorry about that. 10 seconds? Are you kidding me? And then check this out. I'm playing clearly a clean overtake. This guy clearly nudges me, tries to throw me off balance, and what happens to him? Nothing. He gets nothing. There's no penalty. Just a slight loss in SR rating. That's it. It's bullshit, but it's a hell of a lot better than other racing games I played this year. The cars themselves feel great too. It's not the most realistic sim racer out there, but for a console, there's a lot worse you can be playing right now. Outside of just racing, there's a couple more things you can do. You can customize any car you like in the livery editor. Livery? I don't fucking know. This is more expansive than I originally thought it would be. You can do basic paint jobs here and there for one of your favorite cars, or you can completely change it up. As you can see here, I'm working on a go-kart, just finishing up the touches, finishing that thing, yeah. And bam! Now, you can take this car to its own photo op, which is literally just a mode where you take pictures of your cars to jerk off to them. All these landscape shots are real, and the in-game car models fit in surprisingly well. You have a lot of options in terms of what you're actually shooting with. So you can put my go-kart right here. Let's focus on what really matters here, and just a nice little zoom in, focus in on the piss. And boom, there you go. Looks like fucking shit. I'm not the most talented when it comes to this kind of stuff. You can view everyone else's work, everyone else's pictures in the discovery section, and you gotta say, there is some crazy shit these people do. I mean, look at that. Wow. Oh, I want you to look at, oh, wow. Oh my god, Paul Walker, rest in peace. Who's Paul Walker? The tuning options you have for your vehicles are good, but a little limited compared to what GT 5 and 6 had. You won't be changing up your exhausts or your tinted windows or anything like that. You can still mess with the transmission and the weight distribution and the power, but the more minute details are missing. The actual car count is rather small, but there's still plenty of cars to choose from. The track list, however, is too small for me. The new track they added from 1.10 is alright. It's nothing bad. It's a well done track, some tricky turns here and there. there, but nothing too mind-blowing. But with the way Polyphony's handling these updates, I'm sure they'll add a bunch more tracks and cars. The best part about this update is the fucking Volkswagen. Yeah, my favorite car! It's beautiful. Let's take this on a lobby online. It's a little slow, okay, whatever. I can tune this bad boy up, increase the power tenfold, and lower the weight of the vehicle so it's as light as a motherfucking feather. Boom! Look at these turns. Look at this beautiful turn. Oh my god, popping a wheelie. Here we have a little trucker fucker in this lobby. I'm gonna show him who's boss. Little love tap. General's a little pissed. He's gonna try to hit me. Ah, he fucking missed, you little pleb. He cannot touch me. Oh, you motherfucker! Piece of shit! The tension here is always so nail-biting with these official races. And for those who just want to dick around with your friends, you can always have player-based lobbies, whatever rules and regulations you want. Overall, I think the gameplay here is really good. The only real problem here is just the lack of cars and tracks, but even then, it's not that minute. There's enough gameplay here to last you a long time. Let's move on to the presentation. Speaking strictly on the car models themselves, this is the best looking racing sim to date. The detail here is absurd. The lighting engine here is great too. Polyphony has done a great job of simulating real light, without exaggerating the lights too much or exaggerating the car's paints too much. The way it's reflected off many types of paint in the car models is insane. The tracks themselves look good too. Some better than others, but that's just true with tracks in real life too, I think. The engine sounds have been improved so much over GT6. GT6 was so fucked! It's a solid 60 FPS, and if you have a 4K TV with the Pro, it'll look even better. Not everything with the presentation is perfect though. The reflections are either average or pretty fucking bad. Shadow quality is a little bit hit or miss too. The soundtrack here isn't amazing, but I think it gets the job done. They even brought back the original Gran Turismo theme song on GT League. I just listen to this shit. It's so fucking cheesy, I love it. It gets the job done, and this isn't fucking Need for Speed Underground. Let's move on to the verdict. With this new update, 1.10, Polyphony has really shown that they've been listening to all the feedback, good and bad, about GT Sport. I'm gonna plop this game at an 8.5 out of 10. Even without the inclusion of GT League, the online community here is so solid, it still would have been an 8 for me, honestly. Polyphony just needs to keep it up with the car, tracks, and maintenance updates. Thank you guys for watching. Like and favorite if you liked it. If you disliked it, just let me know what I fucking sucked at. Subscribe if you want to. Till next time.